Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Eats on the reviews and I watch the Smiley Face Killers. What's the tagline? They only have eyes for you. And this was not how I thought the movie would be. I thought, oh yeah, they're gonna do a bit of a Joker, carve a smile in people's face. No. They're only called the Smiley Face Killers because they leave marks, they leave a smiley face behind. That's it. Which I kind of was disappointed by. But let's start with the movie, shall we? We hear seagulls and some waves. We see maybe a shore of a beach, I don't know. And we get some different shots. We now, fly a bit over the beach, very close to the beach, and we see up close of a carcass of a bird. Different shots again, and you now see it's now dark, and we see a young goat, standing in its place, is house, whatever you call, that thing that goats live in. And then we see the dog, laying at maybe a door, still awake. And we see somebody, move in front of the camera, while we see the goat again. Next thing that we see is that person is pinning down the goat and starts to cut into the goat's neck. The goat starts to scream, and the dog reacts, it jumps up into action and runs towards the goat. It's now next morning. And we see a man, walking to the place where the dog was laying, at first, what I thought was the front of the house, of the door of some building. And he's calling him, Sam, here boy. But no dog. He then, walks a bit over, walks a bit around, still whistling, calling his dog. And now he follows a trail of blood on the ground, leading to an empty swimming pool, with the dog laying there, probably dead, and a pig. And a pig is, it looks crazy, man. It's spread out. It's on its stomach. Well, it doesn't have a stomach anymore. But the head is straight. It looked in, and we see maybe the spine, and it's open. It's open like this, and then the spine in the middle. The spine, and then jaw open, and we see the ground through the openings. Because I think it's kind of hollowed out. And only it looks weird. No, not weird. It looks crazy. But we're gonna leave it at that, because if you don't know what's gonna happen next, watch that movie yourself. This movie is based on true events. And when I looked up, Smiley Face reaction, Smiley Face Killer's reaction, to see maybe someone did reaction to the movie, what I see was Call Me Chris and some other bald dude, the Casual Criminalist. They both dropped a video on their own channel about a month ago with kind of the same title, pointing at the same thing of what the title says, as in they're still at large. The smiley face killers are still out there. So for you Americans out there, well, good luck. I know your country is already chaos right now, and probably for the next 3 more years, but or 4 more years, whatever. But good luck, because this movie plays around 2016, 2017. So yeah. There was one fucking stupid thing. The guy, Jake, he was he was at the party, and he was already followed by the smiley face killers. They driven in the movie a white van. Yeah, I know, very typical, of bad people, a white van, especially for child abductors, a white van, you want some candy, white vans, but they were driving a white van. And he was at a party, and, they, like I said, they were following him, and they stabbed, his, they punctured or stabbed his tires of his bicycle wheels. So, he was walking in the middle of the street with his bike. Why the fuck are you walking in the middle of the street with your bike? I get it, there's no car driving around, it's dark, I probably would do the same, but no, because that there's a white van following you. So why are you walking in the open? He lost the white van at first, when he was at the party, but they probably saw that he was at that house. So, that's how they stabbed his tires. But, so he walking off the street, and, the white van came around the corner and very slowly drove next to him. And then, he slowed down. The guy, Jake, slowed down with walking until he stood still. The car, was at the same pace until it stood still next to him. The van opens, the side door opens. And what does he do? He stares into it for a few seconds, then looks at his phone. And then somebody jumps out, and drags him in. But, dude, drop your fucking bike, or throw your bike into there, and get the fuck out of there. Run! Don't fucking stare at an abduction van. So, I'm curious what's gonna happen next. If you know that you're being followed by a white van, and that white van comes driving next to you slowly, it stops while you are stopping, and it suddenly opens, you don't stare into it, waiting for what's gonna happen next. No, you take action, you get the fuck out of there. Or, you try to get the fuck out of there. Maybe you will not succeed, but you try to get the fuck out of there. Stupid ass. This movie, and that happened, in the last half hour, obviously. Because the first hour, the first 50 minutes, nothing happened. Nothing. 50 minutes. This movie is 1 hour and 36 minutes. The first 15 minutes, nothing. Just legit nothing. Nothing really interesting. No deaths or something. No, just basically legit nothing. No stalking. No, nothing. Until from the 50-minute mark, then it Yeah, maybe a bit stalky, but not really for creepy. It, this movie was just, you could have made something good out of it, but no, it was just okay. The movie was rather okay, so I'll give the 3 out of 5. It was pretty disappointing actually. Um, yeah, yeah, and the name sounds so cool, it's smiley face killers, but uh, that's it. You don't wear smiley faces. You don't carve something in the body. No, they just drain some blood and then throw them in the ocean or something. I don't know what they do. No. This movie was not, for me it was not it. But leave likes, recommend a good true event based movie down below in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, come join Discord. And for tomorrow, I'm gonna for the very first time I'm gonna watch E.T. Yes, I've never seen E.T. before. I obviously know about E.T. I know the famous line, E.T. film. I know he is glowing finger, and he looks very weird. And obviously, the cycling across the moon, with the boy, and him in the basket with the blanket. That I know. But otherwise, I've never seen a movie before. No trailers, no, not really clips of the movie, but more references to the movie. Like in Futurama, they probably have done it in South Park or in Simpsons, or Family Guy. Something, one of those shows. I've seen the references, but I haven't seen the movie itself, so I'm very curious. I know it's about from Steven Spielberg, so I'm excited. So if you want to see that movie, subscribe to the channel and see you guys tomorrow.